There we go. All right, good evening. Welcome to the First Layer. My name's Richard, and we are continuing on with our dedication build for Peter Reynolds, and this is our Voron 2.4 R2 300 millimeter version. Let's go and say hello to people in the chat. We're streaming tonight over on Twitch and on YouTube. I'm trying to get that Twitch audience built up a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's first of all say hi to the man who was here first today, 54 minutes early in HVAC A to Z, my good friend Sergio. And there's Kermit Builded Basement, Tim Postma, my friend from the East Coast. We have the Poor Boy channel. Welcome, welcome. Nick, Non-Fam, Shadell, that scoundrel from the East in Newfoundland, and he's always up to no good, and I can see people are putting the hammer down on him already. We got Snapshot FPV, Joseph Jolly, another long-time supporter of the show. Who else we got here that I might be missing? I think, do I have everybody? I think I have everybody. Tim Post was asking, do I mind bringing up the topic of 3D printing UTEM or PEI and how that could be used plates for regular desktop printers? Tim, I'm going to have to do a little bit of research into that for you. Send me an email. You know my email. You have my direct email, so you can send me a quick email about that, and I'll do some research on it, and I'll give you an answer within the next day or two. All right, so what am I doing today? I am probably going to burn myself. I'm going to put together the Stealthburner, which is an important part of this entire build. And because without Stealthburner, we can't print anything. So we're going to build that today. And I decided to go with the Stealthburner instead of the Afterburner because it's, first of all, it's one of the most popular ones out there in terms of hot ends and extruder builds. Secondly, it looks really cool. And Tim over at Dwit 3D did a fantastic job of printing these. Let me go to camera 3 here. Look at how sexy that looks in that beautiful purple from our friends over at Keene Village Plastics. Oh my God, I can't even think today. Speaking of which, I want to thank LDO Motors, Big Q 3D, Big Tree Tech, E3D, Fadus, 3D Lab Tech, KB 3D, our good friend Chris over there, Keene Village Plastics, DeWitt 3D Canada, and Kermit from the Build It Basement. And if it's stealthy, how do you know it's working? Well, I don't. But I'm going to find out. So yes, I'm going to find out if it's going to work. So, going back here. So I've got everything I need tonight. I've got my 80XL in this box right here. I have what I'm going to be using for my probe, my clicky probe right here. I do have another probe. We're going to talk about that in a moment. We've got our LDO pancake motor, which we're going to be using. We have our BMG internals. We've got a Stealthburner upgrade kit. And this has got all the LED lights in it and that sort of thing. We've got our Stealthburner 2-part PCB kit. We've got a selection of screws, and of course, we have the pièce de résistance. We have our Revo heater core and nozzle pack from LDO and E3D. So this is going to be going on today. We're going to put that in. But first and foremost, we got to get to the build. So in order to do that, we got to figure out what we're doing. And what we want to start with first and foremost is this little guy right here. This is the Geidler arm. I'm going to move that stuff out of the way for a moment. We'll get to that in a moment. We're going to talk a little bit about some grease. Hey, there's Ben Brady. Welcome. Tim Postma's question is, what is the difference to decide if a Lulzbot or Ultimaker is better? Name the factors, kind sir. Well, that is an interesting question. It's all going to depend on what you want to do with the printer. I think that if you've got the money for an industrial printer like an Ultimaker, then I would say go for it. Ultimaker has, I think, a little bit better backing in the industry than you're going to find with Lulzbot. I love Lulzbot, don't get me wrong. I think that they have a great product and that they do a fantastic job on their printers. So again, it's going to come down to taste. They both will do 2.85. 2.85 is a filament that is slowly going the way of the Dodo. So unless you don't know what a Dodo is, we have some friends that we could call Dodos, but yeah, it's slowly going out of the consumer space. It's still very much prevalent in the industrial space, but 285 3mm is going out of the consumer space pretty fast. It's getting tougher and tougher to find in the consumer space. So there are companies that still make it, Protopasta, Filaments.ca. There are a number of companies that still make 2.85, but again, it's all going to depend on what you want. So, hey, there's SK3D. Welcome, welcome. All right, so let's get to this. I'm going to change cameras here, and we're going to start with this little Guidler. Let's go to this camera right here. So here we have the Guidler. It's two pieces. They fit together really easily. I put all the inserts into these already. So we're just going to snap that together. There we go. It's all slid in nice and tight. We'll move on to the next step. And the next step calls for us to get into our BMG bag, and that's this bag right here, okay? Well, there's lots of stuff in here. Tim, you can send me that question via email, okay? Tonight we're really kind of focusing in on this. I know we normally answer questions, but tonight I really want to focus in on working on the Voron. So that's what we're going to do. So first and foremost, we have to grab our BMG idler gear assembly, which is right here in this bag. And now they give you two gears. I guess one's a spare. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that. Somebody can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But there is two gears here, and to me they look identical. Now, so I'm just going to keep one aside. Actually, the Dodo really isn't extinct. They just found some alive a month or so ago. It was big news. I guess I missed that. Okay. So in this gear, we need to do a little bit of pre-work. Now, there doesn't seem to be, oh, there's another pin in there, a longer pin. So we're going to dump all of this stuff out too, because we're going to have to use it anyway. We're going to have to get into using it anyway. So let's do that. We'll get rid of that baggie. We'll get rid of that baggie. We'll put that over there, because I don't think this one, oh yeah, that one's going to fit. Look at that. So I don't need this one at the moment, but I am going to hold on to the rest of that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open this up, and I can't get any closer. I wish I could. This looks like it was pre-greased already, just by what I'm seeing here. I know you guys can't see this, but it looks like it was pre-greased already from my naked eye, but just to be on the safe side, I'm probably going to put a little bit more in there. I'll keep that extra shaft for something else. And the grease I'm going to use tonight is this super lube. And we talked about grease in previous episodes when we were greasing up the linear rails. Now this is a little bit different. This is a multi-purpose synthetic oil, so it's not a grease, but it's PTFE. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to put a little bit on here. I'm not going to put a ton. There we go. That'll work its way in. And now I'm going to slide this all back in. There we go. Look at that. That is slick. All right. So the next step is for us to pop this in here. Hope you guys can see that. We're going to pop that right in there. We're just going to put even pressure on it and get it into, there we go. There we go. And I need to put an M3 by 16 screw in there. So I'm going to grab one, which I seem to have forgot to grab earlier. M3 by 16. There we go. Those are the ones that we want. I thought I'd grabbed one out of here prior, but I guess I didn't. Put that back down there. So I'm just going to put an M3 by 16 in. All right, so we're going to take that screw, we're going to drive that in there, and all that's going to do is it's going to hold all that together. I want to make sure that this pin is set in there pretty evenly, and it looks like it is. This can spin nice and freely, which is what I want. And let's grab our, grab our driver. Put that in. And my driver died. Story of my life. So what have you guys been up to? I want to know what you guys have been working on. Like, I want to know what your 3D printing has been as of late. For those of you that don't know, we have our own Discord, and it is coming along. We've added some areas for people to find out where they can buy products and that sort of thing. If you know of any places that you'd like to add, just drop me a message or put it into the general chat, and we'll make sure that they get added. All right, so let's move down to our next step. So now that we've got this put together, we're going to grab this piece, which is the guidler arm. We're going to grab the guidler arm and we are going to put it on here. So we need this setup right here, which is our tensioner. We're going to put that on. And the nice thing about this, I don't know how well you guys can catch this, but there's a little groove right here. There's a little groove in this piece that matches up with a groove on the guidler arm. And it just makes lining things up so much easier. Except when you have fat hands like me. There we go. Just going to bring that in. Just so it has a little bit of tension on it, not much. There we go. There we go. Because that needs a little bit of spring to it. From my understanding, it needs to have a little bit of spring to it, so that it does. So now we are done with that. Now we are going to put in our shaft and our Aha, now I know why there was 2 of these. And there's a second one. Aha, aha. Now I know why there was 2 of them. See what happens when you're an idiot? Hey, there's John Bima. All right, so now we need to take our shaft like this. We're going to need our bearings that came with the kit, and we are going to need this piece right here. And we're going to have to take our one bearing and we're going to pop it in right there. We want to get it down nice and flat so that it is in there. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side, which is right here. And this, I've been told, is the toughest one to get it in nice and flat. Everybody's told me that. And I need to find a tool that will allow me to get it in nice and flat. And that is not it. Well, maybe it is. Oh, there we go. There we go. Just going to make sure that it's seated down there and that it is not sticking up in any way, shape, or form. And there we have it. All done. So now we've got a bearing in here. Right where we need it, we've got a bearing in there. And we have a bearing in here. Okay? So we've got those 2 bearings. Now, this is probably the toughest part of this whole thing. So now we've got to take our large gear and our other gear and put it on in the right orientation. And we are probably going to need this guy right here. And we'll loosen up that. Now there is a specific measurement for this. And you're going to measure from the inside of the gear to the center of here. I don't have my calipers handy, so I'm going to kind of do it like so, and I think I'm pretty close. I'll make sure that I'm on the flat part of the shaft. I'm just going to give that a little tighten, so it can't go past that. And now I'm not going to tighten that all the way down. I don't mind that it has a little bit of movement right now because I'm going to come back and tighten that up with a little bit of Loctite later on. David Vera, hello sir, welcome, welcome, welcome. I think I got everybody so far. If you guys would do me a big favor and go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, that would help out a great deal. Also go ahead and hit that like button. It goes a long way to helping us get this show in front of more eyeballs that could use the help with 3D printing. So I would appreciate that very much if you guys would do that for me. All right, so now we're going to take this part. Let's get our ticker going back there again. We're going to take this part and we're going to insert it into the thinner of the 2 panels. Okay? Get my hands out of the way. We're going to put it into the thinner of the 2 panels. Gears facing down, which is what we want. And now we are going to take this piece. We're going to put this piece on and match everything up. There we go. And I can see that I need to go here and grab this. So now I need a couple of M3 by 25s. And when I was kind of doing this before, this little sandwich, I kind of pre-assembled this little sandwich ahead of time. I didn't have any M3 by 25 screws, but my friend over at 3D Lab Tech found some and brought me over some and said, here you go. This should solve your problem. So now I need to put this particular one right here. And we'll screw that one down. Put that one in there. Keeping this sandwich all together. And again, these are not something you have to get Herculean on. I know a lot of guys will do that. They'll thread these and they'll over thread them. But you just want them to grab and hold into place. So I'm going to do that with this one as well. And there we go. I played drums for years when I was a younger man. Not so much anymore. I think I got these right where I want them now. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and grab a piece of filament, because they want you to grab a piece of filament here, and just run it down to align everything. And I have filament right behind me. So I'm going to chop off a chunk. Turn that on because I'll need that on later. Well, that should do. You know what? Let's use this stuff right here. All right, so we have some filament. And the key here now is to get this filament down and in and align that gear. I'm not quite there. So I'm going to pull that over. There we are. We have it aligned now. I'm going to take that screw out. Being careful not to lose it. Set that back on there. Grab our Loctite. Let's set that down. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. Make sure I've got my rag. Just a little bit of Loctite on there. Get that back in there. Come on now. Get our flathead screwdriver. Push that over just a little bit. I don't want to mess up the gears on this. So this is where patience comes in. Now, with any amount of luck, that looks like I'm in the right spot. But I want to make sure that I've got that on there correctly. So it looks like I'm in the right spot in there. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it looks like I'm in the right spot. But I'm going to take this out and I'm going to pull this apart, and I just want to double check that. It's better to double check my work than do it than not do it. Oh, I'm just having fun with myself, Tim. Don't take it personally. Richard, how do you know the stage is level? The drool is coming out of both sides of the drummer's mouth. Who let the dogs out? HVAC A to Z is taking out the dogs. I want to make sure that who let the dogs out. Okay, I just want to make sure that that is in the right spot on that shaft. I know I should be. Nope, and it certainly was not. Now I'm in the right spot, or close to it. I can't go past that, so that's good. I'll realign that. I will do this one more time. I'm only smart because I got smart friends. No, I tease myself a lot. Don't take it personally, Tim. Prusa Castor guitar. Wow, for his birthday. That's cool. See you next time. Tim, just drop me an email tomorrow, okay? Do I have a radio in the background? No, I've got background music going. I do not have a radio, but I have background music going. Okay. So let's make sure that we have that in the right path. We'll do this one more time. G'day, Mika Steve. There we go. And now I'm just going to go ahead and tighten up that grub screw. There we go. Grub screw tight. Filament path, good. Filament path, good. Good filament path. So you guys can see this now. We've got a nice clean filament path going there. It's right where it needs to be. So we are in good shape. I think. I hope. All right, so the next mechanism we have to put in is this guy. And we're going to drop him in just like so. He's a little stiff getting in there. All right, and we need to put in a M3 by 25, another one of those. Let's grab one of those and put it in. Get that out of the way. I'm excited to get this thing done. I just thought it was voices in my head. It could be voices in your head. So this should go right up in there. Geez, that seems a little tight. We got to back those off just a hair. There we go. There we go. That seems like it worked better. Yeah. All right. So that's where it should be. It's all loaded into its spot. Now we are going to grab, if I can keep the mouse in the right spot, we're going to grab the little lever, which is right there. We're going to put the lever in. Get that hole lined up. There we go. And that gets a 25. Let's see what's going on. I used to have the same problem, but now I'm an old man. I'm an old man too. Okay. And now this should come down. Why does that seem so tough? That just seems so tough to lock in there. Am I doing something wrong? Something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right. Actually, it's not hard at all to redo the Stealthburner. Now it says this should be in, like so, before this goes in. Now, am I crazy? Or that should push it out, right? Something doesn't feel right here. Why does that not feel right? Tighten that up. Okay, I've got that tightened right up. Do I need this? Okay, guys, I'm going to ask you a question because this one's new to me. Do I need this tightened down or do I need it loosened off? Somebody let me know. Because if I look at it like this, isn't it too tight still? Okay, hang on a sec. Let's see if I got this right now. I don't think I do, but you had to loosen yours quite a bit. Or if that's why I'm having problems. Okay, so that now snaps down. Okay. Now I got a bolt through it. All right, that feels better. All right, that feels better. Okay. That feels much better. All right. And I can feel it. I know it's going to need to be tensioned more. I can feel it against both gears. Okay. All right, so that seems like it's working. But I think I forgot to do something. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put in one of the screws that needed to go in earlier. I will bet you anything I forgot to. Where did that? Yep, I sure the heck did. Okay, well, let's take this apart for the third time tonight. Yep, poop. Yep. Hey, there's Abados. Twitch is feeling lonely. Yes, it is feeling lonely over here. It is. Rewind Richard. I'm going to rewind in a big, bad way because I messed up. I messed up because I forgot to put in a specific screw. And you guys are going to know it as soon as I pull it out. I'm surprised nobody caught that. Probably because I didn't have my hands on camera enough. So I got to pull all these out. Pull that out. Pull this one out. My filament path is still good. Can anybody tell me what screw I forgot? I just had your wife rolling. Oh no. Practice makes perfect, Richard. Thanks, Mika Steve. Thanks, Mika Steve. Let's take that out of there. I do have all of the screws out, yes. There we go. You know what screw I forgot to put in? That little one right there. And that screw is a bearing fit screw, I guess, or I don't know, some sort of screw that goes in there. And I do have those. They're right here. I have them. There we go. And it is the one screw. Now, this is a very, I don't know, it's a weird screw because it doesn't tell you how much tension to put on it. Anybody got any ideas? Like how far it goes in, how far it comes out? Should I just put it in until it stops? Yeah, the anti-squish, yeah, that's the one. but it doesn't really tell you how far to put it in. And everybody's probably laughing at me right now. They're all gonna laugh at you. Come on. Get in that bearing. Now I have got one screw that for some reason is not sitting down as far as it should. Looks like it's backed out. So while I've got my hot end, just gonna heat that up and put that in there. There we go. There we go. Nuno! Hello, Nuno! That should make things a little bit easier. I hope. There we go. Oh yeah, that went together much nicer. Okay, let's do this one more time. One more time. We've done this enough already, so now let's do it one more time. There we go. Just snug that up there. We'll check our filament path once again. Make sure everything's kosher and copacetic there, and it is. So I'm happy with that. Now we're going to put this guy back in. And get his little hole lined up. Get his screw in. Seventh time is perfection, Sergio. Yep, sure is. Third time's a charm. How do you guys manage this? I mean, this is already driving me a little bit crazy, but maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. I'm a little crazy anyway. Oh, you rotten son of a gun. All right, so let's get you in there. Okay, so you're in there. That still has movement. And there we go. All right, so that's where it should be now. Okay, good. All right, so I think I got it now. I got that little tensioning screw in there. I've got that in there. I had to back up a few million steps. Shadell, aren't we all a bit crazy? Yeah, I suppose we are. Now, the tensioning knob, it says turn the knob screw clockwise. We'll put tensioning grip on the filament. Too much tension will result in print issues. That's pretty tough going through there now. Like how much tension should be on this thing? That's what I'm wondering, is how much tension should be on this thing. And now there is a squishy thingamajig. How do you actually get into that squishy thingamajig? Because that won't fit in there. That one's way too thick. I might have to get my other ones out. Tell me about this squishy thingamajig. Somebody tell me. I know we've got experts in here. I know we have experts in here for the squishy thingamajig. I got a fair amount of tension on that. That's better. I think I'm happier with that. I can see a lot of deformation on this material. It's still got a little bit too much tension on it. That feels better. Okay, well, we'll leave it at that for now. We'll probably have to come back and adjust it later. I'm the new guy, so don't ask me. All right, the new guy. All right, so now we need to get an M330 and our NEMA 17 motor, which is this guy. And we are going to set him up like so, I believe. And the first one we're going to put in is an M330. I know I've got M330s here. This is the fun part. Trying to find all the nuts and bolts that you need. That's M320s. That's M340. There's M330. Okay. So an M330 is going to go into the back of this thing. Let's go to this camera for a little bit. So we're going to put in this M330 right here by the looks of things. That's going to screw in there. Back it out, and the gears are far apart. Yeah, that much I kind of figured out. Did I forget to put in another screw? I don't think I did. Or did I? Okay. No. Okay, that's right, that's right, that's right. I need an M3 washer and an M3. We're in here. Oh look, it says all of the things that I need right in this packet. And I need an M3 washer, which I believe is in here. Yep. There it is. Right there. And an M3 by 8. None of these look like an M3 by 8, so I'm just going to pop those off to the side for now. But I am going to change that one screw to go to black just because I want to be like the cool kids. I know I'm going to have one silver screw in here. Oh, no, I won't, because I have some 8s here. I have some 8s. Well, that's way too long. That's way too short. That's way too short. I really need one of those things like Tim has for measuring screws. Well, this is going back in. This is going back in. I'm going to have a mix of silver and black screws, but that's the way life goes. Okay, so I see how that works. So I hope I'm not wrong about this. This down here, this helps to engage the gears, right? So yeah, that's why you have that movement. If I'm not mistaken, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Hey, there's Stephen Reimer. Hi, Stephen. 3D Lab Tech, Meatface. Who's Meatface? I don't think of him as Meatface. All right. Well, let's get that that screw in there. I have some M3 by 8 sitting right in front of me. So I'm going to grab one. I'm going to put that little washer on it that we needed. Now I'm going to try and get this into that hole. Because I got really big fingers. They don't make this very easy, do they? Did some of you guys have this much trouble? Or is it just me? I'm trying to find that thread. And it is not happening. There we go. I got it now. I got it now. So I still have some movement there. That's what we want. So that we can get in there and move that around. Don't tighten. So I did not tighten it. I've got some room there. Okay. Set the gear meshing. Feels like I have gear meshing now. Okay. It feels like I got gear meshing now, so I'm going to go in and tighten it down. Oh. 3D Lab Tech is coming in as Meatface. Oh, I see. Okay. I was going to say, he's not a Meatface. I like Andy. But yeah, a lot of this that we're putting in tonight actually came from Andy at 3D 3D Lab Tech. Andy's the man. If you are looking for, if you're in Canada and you're looking for stuff for your next Voron build, he is definitely the guy to go to. Can't have a loose screw if you don't install it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so we're moving on to the next stage of this. We have to put in an M3x20 back here, because now we are putting on this guy. This guy. Like so. There we go. I think that's the way it's going to go. M3x20, which I think is one of these. That's an M3x20 right there. Now I know for a fact I'm probably going to run into trouble on some of this stuff. And you guys can tell me if I am or I'm not. But okay, so that's in there. And now there's one that goes right in there, and that's going to be a little shorty, I believe. On the other side, an M3x8. Yeah, there we go. Put in one of these. All right. I know that once I put this board in, I'm going to have to do something with this cable. I'm going to have to probably shorten this cable and put a whole new end on it. So I am prepared for that. My face is better for radio, though. Not as handsome as Richard. Oh, stop it, Andy. You're better looking than I am, for sure. Okay, I think I'm getting there. What's next? Now I have to open the latch and put an M3x16. There we go. Latch is open. There's that filament in the right path. Good, good, good. Okay, so we're gonna put an M3x16 in there. And let's see if this is our M3x16. No, that is an M3x12. I know there's an M3x16 in here. There it is, right there. Okay. And that has to go all the way through. Why that goes all the way through like that, I don't know. Oh, I do know. Stop being a goofball. Because you got to put this guy on. Got to put this guy on, which is that cover for your electronics. When I looked at this the first time, I had that same thought, like, why does that go on there? Why does that screw go to no place? And then, of course, I went to the next page and saw why I was being so goofy. And again, you don't want to tighten this down too much. You want to make sure that you've got a little bit of spacing in there so that it can move, which is what we want. We want it to be able to move, but we don't want it so loose that it causes a problem. There we go. So now we got that closed back up. Are we moving along? We are so. All right, so that is in place. Hey, guess what we get to build now? Now that we've got this done, and now that we got this done, we can put that aside. Because now we go to moving on to putting the hot end together. And here's our hot end. With this hot end, LDO was generous enough to send two nozzles. There's a 0.4 nozzle, which is the one that's in there right now, and then there's a 0.6 nozzle. So we got two nozzles with this. They're both brass, so I'm going to use the 0.4 to start things off. I think that's the best way to go. And now I just have to get this thing mounted correctly. And we are using the proper mount for this. This is the Revo, so we can tell that by the RV on the top. How well you guys can see that, I don't know. Let's go to this camera and you might be able to see it better here. So you can see there's a little RV, an ERV on here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to set that in there like so. And the flat end goes over like so. And this is for our wiring. And I think we want to get a couple of screws in there first, if I'm not mistaken. We've already got our heat set inserts in. We've got our Revo assembled. Okay, so we need to put in, oh, so it doesn't want you to mount that first. It wants you to put those screws in afterwards. That's strange. I find that a little strange. Maybe that's just me. Is that me? Maybe it is, I don't know. Let's see if we got a couple of 12s sitting here, because I know I pulled some 12s out. Let's just see what we got here. Yeah, that's close enough. I got two of them, I believe. Yep, okay. So it wants us to put the back on first. We're gonna have to guide our wiring up through here. And then we're going to take our back and we're going to place it on here. Making sure that we don't pinch any of those wires. And that all those holes line up. Okay. Let's put these in. Might help if we grab the right wrench for these. That should be the right wrench for these. There we go. That doesn't seem like it fits there. No, it doesn't go all the way through. Okay. So that is not quite long enough. Let's see what else we got in the 12s. Let's just put those aside. Go into our kit. I know we got 12s in here somewhere. There we go. All right, so let's pull out some. Is it my imagination, for you guys that have built LDO kits, is it my imagination that these screws are not quite as long as they should be? Okay, so that's a 12 there. That should work. Let's put this back together the right way. Getting this to sit in there. Make sure we don't pinch our wires. This is definitely a lesson in, gosh, definitely a lesson in patience putting one of these together. Definitely a lesson in patience. Why are you not sitting in there right? Okay, now you are. Okay. Let's get these 12s in there. Let's see if they go in. Those 12s just are not reaching. Those are all way too long for that. What size is this one? That's a 12 as well. That's way too long. Let me, give me 1 sec. Amuse yourselves for a few minutes. I'm going to go and check and see what I've got upstairs. Maybe I've got a 14 upstairs. No. Well, I'm finding out I got some screws that don't work. And everyone can hear our conversation. These ones might be too long, but have everybody amusing themselves for a moment. Now, I don't have any 14s, I've got 16s. I wonder if they are going to be too long. Anybody got any suggestions? Please adjust camera, we can't see what you're doing. Just hands. Yeah, you didn't need to see what I was doing. I was upstairs. You didn't need to see that. All right, let's try this again. Let's see if we can get this. Well, that feels like it's going to probably go in there. Yeah. Why do they tell you to use a 12 when it's a 16? You should be using a 16 in there. They tell you to use a 12 here, but the 16s seem to work better. Anybody know why? 12s just seem so small. But the 16s go in perfect. And now it wants 4 8s. I'm going to grab 4 M3x8s. Probably a typo, yeah. Well, that can be severely confusing. To me, that could cause unnecessary confusion to somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing, and that would definitely be me. Okay, so that one's down, and these ones I'm tightening these crosswise so I don't cause a problem. Just like a tire. I think I had that same issue. Yeah, poor boy. Probably is a typo. Probably is a typo. There we go. My hot end's not going to fall out. At least I hope it's not. Looks like there's no obstructions. All right. So there we go. The hot end's mounted. We got all 4 screws in there. Now it wants that little piece of PTFE tube, and it wants it to be 11 millimeters high. So I have PTFE tube and I have a cutter, but I don't know where my cutter is at the moment. So I guess what I'm going to do is take my knife and I'm just going to roll it. And I do have an X-Acto knife around here somewhere. What the heck happened to my day? Everything was going swimmingly until I started doing this. I have a cutter, I can't find it. And I thought I'd pulled it out for this, so. All right, I've got black PTFE tube, I know. You guys are probably thinking to yourself, black? Why in the heck does he have black? Try and get that as straight as possible. Drop that down in there until it stops. And now we're going to measure off 11 millimeters. Pull that back out of there. And let's see if we can do this without crushing it. I think I got it. Yeah, it looks nice and straight. Okay. Sheldon Grant, hello Sheldon. I'm going to push that back down in there and make sure that we are 11 millimeters to the top. And we can come a little bit more, or just a hair long. Just a hair long. There's my original mark. There we go. That should be it. Put some filament in the PTFE tube when you cut it to avoid crushing it. Yeah, I didn't crush it. I was lucky. Yeah, it didn't crush at all. And I've done that trick before. I'm very aware of that trick. Okay, there we are. We're at 11. Okay, so that is done. PTFE tube done. Now comes the fun part. We get to work on this guy. And apparently we have to cut some areas so that the wires can get by, from what I've been told. So we're going to take that out of there. That out of there. I'm surprised Dwit's not here tonight. He usually is. Hey, David. Okay, so we got that done. Now we're doing something a little different here. I'm going to put this aside back in the box because we're not going to be using that nozzle right away. I'm going to put that nozzle back in this box. This is where it's going to become fun because we're going to start doing some soldering here pretty soon as well. Actually, that is our next step, is we're going to solder. So we need the 100 millimeter. Let's go to camera 3 so you guys can see what I'm doing. We need these. Now I have a rainbow barf. I don't think I'm going to put the rainbow barf in because I just don't, maybe it's me, but I just, Tim had so many problems with doing his rainbow barf, and he blew up so many of the dang things that I'm not really interested in doing that. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I put the rainbow barf in? I don't have the lens for the rainbow barf. I can always put it in a little bit later. Let's make sure that that goes in. There we go. We got the lens in. Yeah, probably having some soldering PTSD. Could be. All right. So let's find out which ones here are which ones. So this one is definitely going to be longer than the 100. Yeah, this is the 120. And there should be a number of them that are that long. There should be one green one that long, which I think is this one. Okay, these are the ones that go to the control board. Then we have a green, a black, and a red for the rest of it. My table is starting to look pretty bizarre, but first things first, I need to tin the LEDs and make sure I know what. I think I'm going to save that rainbow bar for later. I have it, I got it, and I think I'll just save it for later. Now on these, I don't know how well you guys will be able to see these, but on these there's an in and an out. So I have to figure out which is the in and which is the out. That's the in, that's the out. So on the first one, it's going on the in, and if we set the ground, which is over here, and set the 5-volt over here, we know what we have to do. So I'm going to I'll put those wires aside. I'm just going to put these in the order that they need to be in, because I know I've got to tin all these, so I'm going to do that right now. And I've got a little bit of flux here. I'm just going to put a little flux on these. Can you guys see me doing that okay? I've got a syringe flux. I like it because I don't have to. I can just put some down. I don't have to use a lot of it. I can really control how much it goes on there. And you don't need a ton of flux. I should have got one of those flux pens like Dwit 3D has, but never got around to it. So this is the flux I have, so this is the flux I'm going to use. Go with what you know, right? So I'm going to put that aside. Now, I've got a nice hot soldering iron. Just going to clean off my tip. Let me grab one other thing here. I haven't even been watching the time, so how much time we're in. Oh, we're 20 after 7. Okay, so we still got time. We might actually get all this done. Just put that in there so I can clean off my tip. There we go. Now, what I tend to do is I have my solder on my helping hands. I don't have any fancy helping hands like Tim does, so yeah. I put a little bit too much flux on this one. I'm just going to get rid of the flux that I don't need. There we go. All right. Tin the end of my soldering iron. Come on. There we go. There we go. First one done. A little bit too much maybe on that one bit. Where are my good style tweezers? Had them here earlier. I don't know why I tend to lose stuff that I was just using, but I do. That one looks okay. I'll be happy with that. So now I'm just going to do this again. Always like to have a clean tip. And here we go. Now we'll do the other side. Tomorrow night, I have an interesting meeting at the Maker Faire. Oh, good night, Sergio. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. There we go. There we go. Now that's got that solder flowing nice. I used to do a lot of soldering, and I haven't done any in quite some time, so I do find it to be a little daunting at times. Maybe that's just me, but okay, so now I need to strip my wire. You guys are going to see the strippers tonight. Yep. Now, I have many pairs of strippers. I have these strippers, which I don't mind. I have old school strippers. Bum, bum, bum. These don't go down small enough for the wire that I'm using. And then I have these strippers, which I also like, but they have a tendency not to grab the filaments or grab the wire when it's really fine. This stuff actually this one does a really good job. So I'm just going to get a little bit off of there. A little bit off of there. I try and take off as minimal as I can. Oh, geez. I actually pulled it right through the jacket. Oh, That's not going to work. This one's going to be a little small. Grab too much of it. I'm going to trim that down a little bit. There's a lot of wire there. Well, I may have made that one a little too small. Well, we'll find out. Duff, this is the only reason I'm here. Oh, all right. You want to see me strip? All right, so I'm stripping. I'm stripping just for you, Duff. Now he's afraid. Duff, there's $6.99 in my G-string. Oh, my strippers. All right, so there we go. The green one's a little short, but we'll figure that out. All right, so the first one is going to be black. That gets solid. Then it is green. There we go. And green, and then finally red. Finally red. And I will just add a tiny bit more solder to those to make a decent connection. There we go. All right. Let's get a little whip on it. Don't need that little whip on there. There we go. Clearly it's working for you. But not the wires. Yeah, not the wires, that's for sure. All right, so this is going to be very difficult, I think, to get this one in. And that's the out. So again, we're going to go. Doing this backwards is kind of weird. Okay, now the green one I got to stretch because I made it too short. Oh, this is the fun part. This is where the helping hands are going to have to come in. I know normally I talk a lot, but okay, that one's on. And then I'll come back and I'll test continuity before I put all this together. Oh, rotten bugger. Decided to slip on me. There we go. So before I go any further, I'm going to grab my multimeter and I want to just make sure I've got continuity. Because if I don't have continuity, there's no point in going any further. Oh, that one came off. Son of a gun. I have to put a little bit more of this on there. The stuff she hears while you're watching YouTube. I cannot be held responsible for the stuff your wife hears. Damn it all anyway. Okay, that one's on there. Let's get this one on there. Whose idea was it to put these lights in? I blame Dwit. Because he's not here. His fault. His fault. Go to this camera so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Kind of see the mess I'm making here. Okay. All right, let's go to continuity. And we'll just make sure that everything is working right. Just make sure everything's working right. I don't really like that one wire, but it is what it is. Why am I not getting any sound from these? Because I've got the probes plugged into the wrong spots. There we go. Okay. That's good. And that's good. All right, so there's one done. And now we move on to the next one. That one trace just looks a little close. There we go. LEDs are polarity specific, but I don't know if it will affect continuity. Well, it will if you're trying to get your wires in the right spot. Definitely will. From what I know about doing this stuff in the past. All right, so the next ones that we have to put on are another set of 100s, I believe. Yeah, which are these three. And we're going to strip these down. I normally would have just used magnet wire on these, but can't find my magnet wire, so I will use this wire. It's just me. I just find this very nerve-wracking doing LED or doing wiring. I just find it very nerve-wracking, and I don't know why I shouldn't. I shouldn't, because I've done it so many times in the past. What brand are my strippers? I will tell you in about 2 shakes of a lamb's tail as soon as I get this one. Oh, come on now. Don't be like that. My eyes and my hands are not as good as they used to be. Definitely are not. And don't tell me okay. This brand is Taiwan. This is Taiwan. It does not have a brand name on it. I think these came from, if you're in Canada, it's a place called Lordco. And Lordco is the company that my friend got these for me from. So there's no brand name on them. I guess they're just a Chinese version. I guess. All right, so I once knew a stripper named Taiwan. I probably did too. Oh, that red wire came off. How about the green and the black? No, they're staying on. Okay, so let's get this red wire back on there. Why did you come off? Do I need to put a little bit of a bit more solder on there for you? I may have to. There we go. That looks like it's on there now. Yep. This is very nerve-wracking for me. I know it shouldn't be, but it is. Howdy, Printer Prawn. Hello, sir. We've been dealing with strippers tonight. And now we got the heat going. There we go. I do not like the smell of solder in the morning. I'm not that kind of guy. And I don't have a fume extractor. I probably should have a fume extractor. Male or female, or can't tell. Well, I think my strippers are female. I could be wrong. All right, let's make sure that we've got a nice clean signal from the front to the back here. Start with the black. Yep. Green's up next. Nothing on green. But we've got it there. Do we have it here? We do there. Why don't we have it here? We have it here, perhaps. We do. We do. I may have a bad LED. Because that is that. There's no connection there. Do I have a bad LED? I do. Son of a gun. I burned it out. Looks like I burned it out. Because I should have ground going from both those pads. I do not. Plus and the minus are fine, but the ground is not. The ground should be going all the way through, should it not? Don't huff solder fumes. I'm trying not to. Now, can you guys tell me? I think I burnt that LED. I think I burnt that LED. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did. Well, I'll put it in and we'll see what happens. Probes. Swap probes, maybe. Okay, so the red goes all the way through. Yeah. Go all the way through the end. I believe it does. Just the ground that's not going all the way through. Yeah, the red goes through. The negative and the positive seem to be going cold solder joint, maybe. Maybe. Looks like I'm not going to get as far as I wanted to tonight. I'm going to have to troubleshoot that. Maybe just have a look-see at this again. Because it does appear there's quite a dark spot right there in the LED, and I'm just wondering if I messed it up. Let me just see if I hit this solder joint. Hit this solder joint. No, but if I hit that solder joint, I hit that solder joint, I get... So it's just the ground. I'm getting on the plus and the minus, but I'm not getting on the ground all the way through. And it's just the ground. It's the green on the ground. Because the plus and minus are getting continuity all the way to the end. Okay, well let's finish soldering this up. If I have to get another one, I'll get another one. But I don't want to have to. So let's strip this a little bit. The data line probably doesn't pass through. Okay. You would think that it would, though. Would that not make sense? I did it again, son of a gun. I have a little pair of pliers here. I bet you I don't. Just trying to pull this wire back through the jacket. Because I got way too much wire out there on the back side of that jacket. I do have my tool kit around here. I did pull it out. This will work. I don't want to make these any shorter than I have to. There we go. There we go. Hire a new stripper. I mean, buy a new stripper. Maybe we should just hire a new stripper. I should hire a stripper, that's it. I'll get Tim to come over. You guys always like it when Tim strips, don't you? But you guys are a fan of when Tim strips. Good night, all. Good night, Kermit. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here in about 10 minutes. I'm not going to get as far as I wanted to tonight. I got the major parts done. Now it's Tim be dancing. Tim be dancing is right. Okay, let's get this last one done. I look at the diagram here once again, as soon as it comes up. There we go. So these ones have to come back this way. We will figure this out. You know what? I should probably tin these. Should probably tin these before. And I did not do it. It's going to be a pain in the butt if I don't do it now. There we go. Don't you love that smoke? And Tim's gonna kill me because I got solder all over my new table. My new mat that he told me to order. I'm probably just gonna tin these tonight, and then let's get the plastic out of the way so we don't burn down the house. And then I'll put these wires on, and then we'll come back on Sunday. I guess our next one will be on Sunday. And instead of doing Ask for Help, we'll just continue on with this. I don't know if I'm going to get these put together ahead of time, like get these installed, unless you guys want to see it. If you do want to see it, then I will save that for Sunday, and I won't go any further on this. It's up to you guys. And there we go. Let's put this one on. You know what the heck, I still got a few minutes, so I'm going to put these on. Come on. There we go. First one's on. Give it the snug test. And last one. I'm smelling lots of wire. Only strippers Sunday, okay. These are just so delicate to do. That's way too high off there. That's getting a little warm. I'm beginning to feel like Tim, burning myself. There we go. All right. So that is going to wrap it up, I guess, for tonight. I think that I will continuity test these guys here fairly soon before I wrap it up here in the studio tonight. And then I will, maybe the signal wire doesn't go all the way through, but it should. I think it should. But who knows? Oh, I'm going to have to redo that one solder joint. It looks like crap. It looks like crap. Clean my tip and some. Come on now. There we go. That's better. That's better. All right. Did you start smoking? No, I haven't. Not yet. I will soon, though. I probably will soon. So I'm going to test those off camera, and we'll call this a wrap for tonight. We're hitting 8 o'clock. Without continuity, how does it get signal through? Anyway, good job, Rich. Thank you very much. I don't know how it gets the signal through if that signal wire is not going all the way. You know what? Seeing as I got it here anyway, I'm going to check. No, no signal there. But should have. That is very weird. Very, very weird. I don't get that at all. That makes no sense to me. Well, maybe it doesn't go all the way through, because I'm testing it now on the first. Well, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I got it right. I can only hope. I can only hope that I got it right. All right, so I'm going to lay this this out. And then we're gonna, on the next one, we'll work on the fans. We'll get the fans put into this housing. And then we'll just, we'll go from there, and we'll see how well we do, how well we don't do. And until I see you guys next time, hey, thanks again for everybody showing up tonight. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get this done. Again, I want to thank LDO Motors, E3D, Fadis, Big Tree Tech, who else am I missing? KB3D, 3D Lab Tech, LDO Motors, I know I said them, Fadis I missed, Keene Village Plastics, Dwit 3D Canada, my good friend Tim for printing all the parts for me, and finally Kermit from Build It Basement who helped out a lot with the build plate and things like that, the actual bed. And I do appreciate everybody's help on this, and I hope to see you guys all again right back here on Sunday at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I've got a, no, Thursday. We're going to be back here Thursday. Why am I thinking that it's Sunday? We're going to be back here Thursday night, and we're going to continue on. We're going to finish putting the hot end together. We're going to get it all wired up. We'll get the boards into it, and we'll get it mounted onto the X-axis, and then we're on to wiring and putting everything in. So until I see you guys next time, remember that the first layer is always your foundation to a great print. Thank you for coming along for the ride tonight, and I know tonight wasn't as entertaining as it normally is, and I apologize for that. I get a little bit wrapped up when I start doing things with electronics. So we'll see you guys next time. So, see ya. The I would like you to be. I think that's the way you do that. No, end screen. There it is. It doesn't all fall apart. I'm just giving the planter a little bit of a squeeze and tapping it on the bottom to loosen up this outside, because as you were going to see here, we got a little bit of root ball and no root rot. The roots look healthy, but this is really dry in comparison. You can see the color difference. It's very,